Welcome to the Crazy Club. Those of you who are here again, thank you for hanging in there with me. I am so happy to be here. My name is Renee Maranan. I'm a vocal instructor. You know what? Interesting. 10 years ago, I came to CMS for the first time. I don't know if Bruce and Matt know about this actually, but I signed up and attended the Songwriter Boot Camp as a participant 10 years ago. 10 years ago today. And I never imagined that I would be up here actually being a teacher. And I'm so honored to be here now. Imagine, that's amazing how God works, right? 10 years. So this class is stylization for worship. Stylization for, oh, wait, I need my outline. Hold on a second. I was really about to start the class without having my outline in front of me. It's been a day. Okay, so stylization for worship. We're going to talk about the different elements that make up the sound and feel of a vocal performance, okay? So we're going to be, I wanted to start this time off with like actually listening to things, but you know what? I kind of feel like it might be better for us to feel it for ourselves. So I'm going to go through a period where you and I are going to experiment with different technical adjustments in our own voices, and then we're going to observe how it feels in our own bodies and how it sounds in the room and how it changes the stylization of the song that we're going to sing together. And then afterwards, we're going to have a couple of volunteers come up here and we're going to work with them on stylizing a song of their choice. Okay, does that sound good? Yes. Okay, so what elements are we talking about here? We're going to talk about technical vocal elements that we can use to impact the way that we stylize a song, okay? Sometimes when we listen to singers, we kind of feel like style just naturally flows out of them, right? Sadly, I wasn't able to be here for the concert last night because I had to go home and teach after I was done teaching here all day. I had to teach my own students, so I missed the concert, but I heard it was beautiful. Yes? Who was here for that last night? I heard it was like transformative, life-changing, time stopped, right? I was here for the performances during the afternoon, and I was back there listening to Leland perform his songs. And it was unreal, right? But you listen to a singer like that, and he had so much expression in his voice, right? What words would you use to describe that vocal performance from yesterday? Passion, unguarded, honest was another thing that I heard. What else? Vulnerable. Imagine being able to express all of that through song, right? We pick up on that as humans, and then it's like, okay, but then how do I actually make that happen, right? Have you ever had somebody say to you, okay, love the way that you're singing this song. Can you make it sound more honest? What? I don't know. What does it mean to sound honest? What does it mean to sound vulnerable? Like literally, sonically, technically, physically, what does that mean? That's what we're going to talk about today. Okay, so we're going to give you some tools to effect stylization, to effect expression in ways that are manageable and practical, so that you're not just like, okay, let's think, I gotta be more vulnerable, and it's like, no, you sound exactly the same as before, just a little bit more effort, right? Just a little bit more stressed. So let's talk about that. Why is stylization even important, right? I mean, I think that most of us would agree that we're all worship singers, right? Singing for worship is not the same as performing. I think we can all agree on that, right? It's not the same. We're not here to give a concert unless it's an actual concert or it's like an altar call or a service, special service, right? We're here to lead the people of God. But it's still important, even as worship singers. Even though we're not here to sing for our own glory, it's still important in leading the people in praise, right? It conveys emotion. Because when you hear a singer up here singing and imbuing the crowd with a sense of vulnerability, what does that make you feel? Right? It makes you feel like you can be vulnerable too. When you can listen to Leland up here sharing his songs with that much honesty, You can sit in the pews and listen and believe the words that he is singing with his mouth, right? So when we are singing in praise and we are trying to lead the people in prayer, it is incredibly useful to be able to convey emotion so that the people of God can come along for the ride and worship even more effectively, right? It can amp up their experience of worship when you can be masterful in your vocal delivery. Yes? And, it can also help create a sense of community. Because we're up here and we are setting the tone for the people in the room because we have the mic, right? It's a position of responsibility, not of power, although it is. But it's a position of responsibility. We are setting the tone. And if we're up here, I just want to speak the name of Jesus. It's like, oh, all right. Everyone's sitting in the pews thinking, what am I going to have for lunch? Shouldn't have worn these shoes today. But if you're sitting up here and you're really able to proclaim, wow, how much more powerful will their prayer be, right? How much better are we serving God? So that's why stylization is important, not for our own glory, but to really do our work as ministers of praise. Amen? So we're going to talk about two sides of the same coin here. When it comes to stylization, you cannot talk about stylization without talking about function, vocal function, being masterful of the way that you use your voice, okay? Style without function is a default, not a choice. Have you ever heard people who kind of sound the same way all the time? And every time they hit a certain part of their range, they're going to have to do this thing where they kind of get gritty and they kind of get loud and yelly, right? That might sound like a style choice, but if that's all that you can do, that's a default. It's not a choice because you're not choosing that. It's choosing you, right? Or you ever heard of those singers who it's like, they've got to get up to this part of their range, so they're going to flip into the falsetto, right? I'm falling. That's all you can do because you don't know how to connect? That's not a choice. That's a default. And that's all a result of function or the lack thereof. So the more handle you have on your vocal function, the more masterful your stylization will be. Okay? Also, efficient vocal function facilitates or enables stylization so that singers can intentionally make choices for the sake of expression without sacrificing their instrument, right? You might want to sound really, really raw and edgy for something. I love that song that Leland sang yesterday. I was just like obsessed with that music, and I started listening to it on repeat when I left. But I love that song that he sang, Midnight. Do you remember that one? You catch every tear I cry. And the edginess that he brought to that in the performance was something else. But if you listen to that track on his album, it's a completely different style. Midnight. You catch every tear I cry. It's a lot more gentle. Two different kinds of voices. Now, how he achieved that in the studio versus what he did live yesterday, I won't know until I work with him one-on-one. But wouldn't it be great to be able to do both? To be able to do something really raw and do something really tender if you wanted to, if the situation called for it? Wouldn't that be great? So that's what we're going to talk about today. How can we get that kind of versatility? So let's all sing together, okay? Let's sing something really, really, really easy. Let me see. What's a song that you all know by heart? Can you call out a song that you all know by heart? Maybe that you know by heart. What's a song that you know by heart? I love you, Lord. Everybody know that song? Does anybody not know that song? No, okay. Everybody knows that song. You kind of know that? It's easy. You'll catch on. Yeah. So let's sing it together. I'm going to sing it in a key that's comfortable for me. And I'm just going to pray to the Holy Spirit that your voices will just sit in it too, okay? If it doesn't, feel free to do a harmony, honestly, okay? I love you, Lord, and I lift my voice. Oh my gosh, I'm going to cry. Okay, keep going. To worship you, oh my soul, rejoice. Take joy. Take joy, my King, in what you hear. Let it be a sweet, sweet sound in your ear. Wow, give yourselves a round of applause, church. That was beautiful. You have blessed me. Thanks for letting me be a part of that. Truly. So that was beautiful, right? How can we change the way that sounds? Or maybe a better question would be, what would change about the way that it sounds when we change certain stylistic elements or certain technical elements, okay? So first, let's talk about vowels. We're going to use that same song, and we're going to change certain technical aspects of it, and I want you to observe how it changes the sound. Now, let's pretend that we're going to sing that same song, and you have a really nice, wide Texas drawl, okay? We've got Lori here, a true Texan. Anybody else? Yeah? How would you sing this as a Texan? Let's just make all the vowels really loud. Oh, not loud, wide. Wide, okay? I'm making a generalization here, by the way, so I apologize in advance if this isn't accurate. No offense to the Texans in the room or anywhere else, okay? I should have just led with that. Let's make the vowels wide. Why did I involve the Texans? It's scary. Okay. Okay. Can everybody say I? Love. Lord. I love you, Lord. Let's everybody sing that together. I love you, Lord. Quite a different sound. What changed about the sound? Loud. It got louder. And yet, did we change our volume intentionally? No, we just changed the vowel and it just automatically got louder, right? What else? More nasally. Nasality is not always a bad thing, right? Some genres of music actually call for nasality. So if you wanted to give this a bit of a country twang, I love you, Lord. Don't I sound a little bit like a country singer? I never thought I would see the day. But, right? Let's try that again together. Ready? All of us widen the vowels. And I love you, Lord. Let's even try smiling into it. And I lift my voice. This is going to get tricky. To worship you, oh my soul, rejoice. Isn't that a different sound just by changing the vowels, right? Now let's sing the rest of it, and I want you to think about, we can go back to our natural vowels now. So that means for the two Texans in the room, you can stay where we just were. Okay, we can go back to our natural vowels. This time I want you to concentrate on the consonants. Punch up the consonants. Really pronounce them, right? So the line is, take joy, my King. Everybody say that with me. Take joy, my King, in what you hear. In what you hear. Okay, let's do those two lines together. Take, ready, and take joy, my King. Keep going. In what you hear. What changed about the way that it sounded like? It sounds angry. It sounds a little angry, right? But what might that be useful for? Not much. That's it. I should just hand her the mic. No, what's that? Break Every Chain. Who knows that song? Can you all sing that song and punch up the consonants? Everyone? Can you, somebody lead it and then sing it? I don't know that song by heart, but can you lead it and punch up the consonants? Anybody, just sing it out loud. Consonants. Sing, right? It might be useful for songs when you need a little bit of intensity. Am I right? Like call, rallying cries, right? Okay, next up, airflow resistance, okay? Let's go back to the beginning of the song. Let's all sing it really breathy. Can you go, like you're sighing. I love you, Lord. Breathy. And I lift my voice. Keep going. To worship you, oh my soul. Rejoice. Keep going. Take joy, my King, in what you hear. Keep the breathiness here. Let it be a sweet, sweet sound in your ear. How would you describe that quality? You're feeling lightheaded? Okay, fair enough. Stay seated then, grab a drink. Okay, what else? Weak? Blended? Like we're all blended, nobody was sticking out. That's what lullaby. What else? Angelic? What's that? Soft. What might that be useful for? What's that? Yeah, contemplative worship, right? If you want to lead people in a sense of contemplation, maybe a little bit more airflow. Maybe not quite as much as we were doing, because we were kind of hamming it up, right? But maybe a little bit less. Can we try that again? With just a little less breathiness, but think about it. So we're just a little bit on the breathy side, but maybe not as exaggerated as where we were before. I'll start. I love you, Lord, and I lift my voice to worship you, oh my soul. Rejoice, take joy, my King, in what you hear. Let it be a sweet, sweet sound in your ear. Wow. Now I want to repeat that tag. I want to go back to take joy, my King. And we're going to start it with that same halfway breathy sound. And I'm going to lead you into a crescendo. Okay? And I'm going to want you to follow me. I'm not going to tell you where. I'm just going to do it. You're just going to have to listen. You're going to follow me, okay? But how to create that crescendo? Technically speaking, I want you to stand up off of the back of this. Oh, sorry. You can sit. You can sit. Sorry. I meant sit up. Sit up, sit up, sit up. And as we are crescendoing, I want you to think about weighing the shoulders down and bracing the abdomen gently in, okay? So we're going to create a little bit of secondary resistance here in the core. And then you're just going to follow the volume. Okay? We're going to see what happens. We're going to let it swell. Okay? So starting from Take Joy, My King. Ready? And take joy, my King, in what you hear. Wow. That grew, right? And what did that make you feel when you heard the swell? How did, Power. Anticipation. What else? Excitement, because something's going to come. Inspired, right? Movement. Expectation. Would you have felt that if we didn't start here? You had somewhere to go. That's right. Contrast is so much more valuable than we realize it is. That's why when I ask you, what did that sound like? Remember, I never ask you, did that sound good? I told this to the people in the vocal intensive 2 days ago. There are no bad sounds. There are only sounds for the right or the wrong moment. Yes? Every sound can be used if you use it at the right moment, right? So even a semi-breathy sound, which sounds kind of weak, right? Sounds kind of quiet, can sound incredibly powerful when you pair it within context of other sounds. Something that sounds angry can sound very powerful when you put it in the right place, right? So that was airflow and resistance that we just played with there. More airflow. Who, sing it with me. Who. Not as much resistance there. Now let's do something more resistance. Ah. Na, 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 na. Foo, 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 foo. She, she, she. Gee, 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 gee. You all feel that? Not a lot of resistance, more resistance, right? Those are tools that you can use to create contrasting sounds, okay? Melody, rhythm, and embellishments, okay? This is another thing that you can do to help affect style. Might not be something that we would do in worship, right? Because we typically don't want to make things confusing for the congregation, but it's something that can be useful for other purposes. Let's all sing it together. And I'm going to put myself in hot water here and try to riff. It might be bad. Let's see. So let's take it from the top. Ready? And I love you, Lord, and I lift my voice to worship you, oh my soul, rejoice. Take joy, my King, in what you hear. Let it be a sweet, sweet sound in your ear. It adds something, but it might take away, right? Notice how when I started really kind of getting into it, and I was listening to some of you, and some of you are like, oh, do we come in? Do we stop? Do we listen? Imagine what happens if you do that in worship, right? So we have to do it with restraint. Do it where it's effective. Do it where it's appropriate. Some congregations, you might get away with more of that than others, right? It depends on which church you're singing at. Depends on what service it is. Depends on who's going to be in the crowd, right? And depends on who's singing with you. So you got to take all of those things into account, because as worship singers, we're not singing here for ourselves alone. We're singing for God first, and we're singing for the people, right? So let's work with some singers, okay? We've got a couple of singers here in the list. Let's start with, who wants to go first? Amanda? Sam? Who wants to go first? They're looking at each other. Sam. Okay, come on up. Let's give her a hand. I'm going to have you use this microphone. You can adjust for your height. Maybe I should.
I could just hold it.
You can too, also, yeah. I'm overthinking it. Okay. Let's have you come out. I'm going to grab my microphone. Tell us a little bit about yourself. What kind of music do you usually sing?
Contemporary worship music. That's mostly what we do at our church.
Awesome. Can I have this? Hello? Hello? Do I need to press a button? Hello? Oh, something's turning on. Apparently it was not on. Maybe it is. Okay. So what song do you want to sing for us today?
Good Ground.
Good Ground.
It's I forget who it's by.
I don't know that.
Citizens.
Okay, great. Do you have a track for it, or do you want to just sing a cappella, or do you?
I'll just sing it.
You're just singing it?
Even though I'm feeling a little shaky.
Do you need a pianist? Because Krista might be there if you have chords, or I don't know if she has chords. Do you have chords?
I've got chords here.
She's got chords. Do you want her to play for you?
Either way, it's fine.
Come on up, Krista. Yay! Everybody give a big hand of applause for Krista. Okay, so what key do you typically sing it in, do you know?
No clue. I'm looking at like our...
Okay, let's just have Krista play something.
That's A right there.
Okay.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Okay.
It starts kind of high-ish, and then it comes down into a heavier chorus, but I feel like I don't have a lot of power in my voice, even in my chest voice. And so that's, when we're talking about stylization, then...
There it is. So this is where function meets style, right? Because no matter how much intention you have to stylize something, even if you know what's going to make a difference, if you don't know how to execute it technically in your voice, not going to work, right? So let's see if we can give Sam a hand, okay?
Okay.
Let's just have you, maybe Krista can play the chord for you. You can just come in, and then Krista will hop in. I'm sure she's a pro, so
sure.
Go ahead.
We'll make it work. It's fine.
You literally are a pro. You're a piano teacher. Okay, so let's try that. Go ahead.
Give me... Nope,
That's not... Yeah.
Give me ears to hear as your...
Oh,
they
do it in C. Okay.
There we go. Thank you.
Give, right? Give. Yeah.
Give.
Give. I don't know. I don't know. I don't have perfect pitch.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Give me ears to hear as you're speaking. Give me eyes to see as you move.
You guys feel like helping her? Let's sing.
You made these hands to use for your glory. Set my feet to carry your truth. Come on, rain down, heaven come and cover this earth. Fall on good ground, we don't want to waste your word. When your truth is hard to believe in, set our feet off for receiving. Fall on good ground.
Beautiful. We'll pause there. Everybody give a round of applause for Sam. So let's start. So I know that this isn't stylistically what you want ultimately, right? But let's start by kind of observing where she's at right now. And again, I'm going to reiterate, there are no bad sounds, okay? It's just where you are right now. It's just different sounds for different moments. So what moment is she in right now vocally? What's her voice sounding like? What would you describe it as?
Soft.
Soft, right?
Nervous.
Nervous. All right. Good. Noted. So she's a little bit on the breathy side, right? She's missing a little bit of resistance. Let's do it again from the. Can I just hear you sing and maybe just give her chords, Krista? Go from this. Just sing me the first line.
Give me ears to hear as you're speaking.
Is that an E? Give. Is that an E? Okay. Give. Can everybody sing? Give.
Give.
Can I hear you sing it?
Give.
Now notice how the sound in the room. Sam's sound. Naturally, she has a relatively softer voice than maybe the typical, or certainly me. Okay, so I'm gonna have you put a little bit more brattiness into that. Hey, now that's not a finished sound. That is an unfinished sound. It is not performance ready. I do not want you to sound like that on Sunday.
Nope.
Now, you've got people here in your church. If she tries to pull that and says it because I told her, you can say, no, she didn't. Okay? Okay, so let's try that again. But can we sing that line? Start with that bratty sound and keep that bratty sound. Pretend like it's a bratty kid singing that line, okay? Let's just ignore the fact that it's a worship song for a second. And God loves you even if you sound bratty. So let's try that, okay? Give.
Give me... Give me ears to hear as you're speaking.
Okay.
I don't know.
So, okay, we got her to the other extreme. Let's see if you can find the middle. Can you say, I'm changing the vowel from something really smiley and wide to something that's got a little bit more in it. You want to all try this together with me? From smiley to g. Let's all say it together. Give. Everybody?
Give.
Good. Can I hear you sing? Give.
Give.
Hey! Now she's got the resistance, but she doesn't sound as bratty as before, if at all, right? So can I hear you sing that now? Give me
ears to hear as you're speaking.
Oh my! And there's even vibrato with it. Do you hear that? A flutter of vibrato at the top. Can we have you play piano for her, Krista? Okay, go ahead. You got this.
Give me ears to hear as you're speaking.
Keep it up. Just hold on to that.
Give me eyes to see as you move.
Keep going. You're doing great.
You made these hands to use for your glory. Set my feet to carry your truth.
This is even more important. Get in that
Come
spot.
on, rain down, rain down. Heaven, come and cover this earth. Fall on good ground, good ground. We don't want to waste your word. Let our truth, I don't know.
Okay.
Big round of applause.
Okay, tell me honestly, what happened there?
Well, for one, I don't know. It feels like the higher notes that I was starting to try to reach for them. Like it felt screamy internally to me.
It felt screamy. I mean, yeah, there were some where there was a little bit of tightness towards the top of her chest voice. So, da 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 da. That's a G. Da. Right? Yes. So the G is the top of the chest voice for the female voice. Okay, and up there, you kind of have to start losing a little bit of the thickness because you're going to start transitioning into a passaggio, into a mix, into a passage, a bridge. There's a lot of names for it. But if you come up that with the same amount of thickness as you have in give, it's going to feel a little bit heavy, right? Give me ears to hear. What are the lines?
Give me ears to hear as you're speaking, when you're speaking.
Give me ears to hear when you're speaking. Is that it? Mm-hmm. I want you to, when you get to when you're, Can you drop the jaw a little bit? Give me ears to hear when
Give
you're...
me ears to hear when you're speaking.
Good.
But I feel like I've switched back into like...
Yeah, you have. Let's go back and go gig, gig, gig.
Gig, gig, gig.
Okay, but maybe not gig, 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 gig. Let's bring a little bit of that. No, I'm not talking about volume. I'm talking about mouth shape. So instead of gig, 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 a little bit of a smile, we're going to go to gig, gig, gig. You're going to keep everything else the same, though. Gig, gig, gig. Let's start here. Gig, gig, gig. Give me that bratty voice again. No, it's not the bratty voice you gave me earlier. There it is. Gig, gig, gig. Say go, go, go.
Go, go, go.
Go, go, go.
Go, go, go.
Gig, gig, gig.
Gig, gig, gig.
That's the voice we needed, right? Give me ears to hear when you're...
Give me ears to hear when you're speaking.
Better, okay? So this is tricky, okay? She's in a tricky part of her range. Is it usable now? Yeah, right? But is this going to, does she need a little bit more? Yeah, she still needs a little bit more to bridge upward so she can sing a little higher. But for this particular song, that's a usable sound. Let's try it again. Give me ears to hear when you're speaking. This time, see if you can get the same feeling with less volume. Can you go, gig, gig, gig?
Gig, gig, gig.
Turn it down, gig, gig, gig.
Gig, gig, gig.
Without changing anything else. Gig, gig, gig.
Gig, gig, gig.
Gig, gig, gig.
Gig, gig, gig.
Okay, maybe not that far, but yes, that's the idea. Let's try it again. Gig, gig, gig.
Gig, gig, gig.
Gig, gig, gig.
Gig, gig, gig.
Kind of. She's finding it. Yeah? Can we start from there again? Give me ears to hear. Don't get louder towards the top, okay?
Give me ears to hear as you're speaking.
A little better. Still kind of flopping back and
Yeah.
forth between breathy and not breathy, okay? But you have an idea what it should feel like, though, right? Can we hear the chorus? Rain down, right?
Rain down, heaven come and cover this earth.
Okay. Don't.
I just want to flip into.
She wants
and it's
to-
a flip.
Yeah, she wants to flip into. So what's happening here is there's these muscles in your vocal tract that are responsible for thickening your vocal folds and thinning them out, right? Stretching and shortening them. And the muscles that are responsible for thickening up her vocal folds are not as dominant as the ones that are responsible for thinning them out, okay? So this is natural. This is why I'm not harping on her to be like, get thicker now, because it takes time to build that coordination. Is she getting it sometimes? Yes, and that is enough. That's what we want, right? Rain down, talking.
Rain down, rain down.
That's it. Now sing, but like you're speaking.
Rain down, heaven come and cover this earth.
Keep that up.
Fall
Yes.
on good ground, good ground. We don't want to waste your word. When your truth is hard to believe in, let our hearts be soft for receiving. Fall on good ground, good ground.
Hey, you held good. So how would you compare stylistically what it sounded like the first time versus what it sounds like now? Let's not even talk about the vocal attributes, the vocal attributes per se, but how did it feel the first time versus the second time?
I think the first time it was hard to understand some of the words. This last time I could understand every word you were saying.
So there was more clarity the second time around, which expressiveness-wise could be interpreted as, what does it sound like when somebody speaks more clearly? Confidence, right? She's proclaiming more as opposed to asking a question. Yeah? What else? Convincing. Like she really knows what she's talking about. She's sure of it, right? Which makes you want to believe her. Right? What's that? It makes you want to follow. right? What would the first one have been good for? For something more contemplative, maybe? Something where you're calling people to reflect? Where you're calling people to think and ask questions of themselves, maybe a little bit more? So again, no bad sounds. It's just different sounds applied to different moments, right? And I think that maybe this sound might be more appropriate for the moment that she's trying to create through this song, right? Awesome job. How did you feel?
That last time felt way better.
Yes.
Still, like unnatural. It needs to be practiced, but
Yeah, it's a natural, right? But it needs to be, it's unfamiliar. That doesn't mean it's bad. It just means that your voice is new to it. And often, when you're dealing with lack of function and you run into something that's unfamiliar, it probably means you're heading in the right direction because you're going the opposite way of where you've been stuck this whole time, and you're finally moving someplace new, right? Awesome job. Give her a hand. And I just want to share too that Sam, I hope you don't mind I'm sharing your story, but like Sam was at the vocal intensive, and his background harmonies started out like singing in the background, singing harmonies, not really taking front and center. And she stepped out to the vocal intensive specifically because she wanted to learn. She's like, can I leave now? Because she wanted to grow. This was a leap of faith for her, right? So I want to even more give you a hand for that. I think this session goes till 12:30, right? Yeah, okay, so we have time for one more. Let's bring up Amanda. Amanda, come on up. Good job, Krista. Yeah, well, you did great. I didn't either. Yeah, it's awesome. How are you?
I'm good.
Good. So tell us about your voice and, what you struggle with, what you want to achieve.
I'm actually really comfortable in my chest voice. It's when I get up into the mix and the head voice that I start to kind of crack or break, and I tend to wear out really fast. Mm-hmm. So
yeah,
I like to lead songs that are really low and easy for me.
That's right. That's called skirting around your vocal issues, right? Let's just find the right key so that I don't ever have to go up into my mix. Yeah. And you're starting the verses like down here, So we're gonna see what we can do about that. Okay. And that could really dampen the style, right? If you're constantly having to work your way around your limitations, because then you end up having a song that sounds really ghoulish, and it's not a part of the stylistic choice, not a choice you're trying to make, but it just sounds really dour and sad, right? Yeah. So what song do you want to work on? What song do you want to sing?
Graves in the Gardens.
Graves in the Gardens.
If you don't know it, my pianist is 2 rows behind you.
Oh, there you go. Maybe we can have her play it, because that way you can feel more comfortable with each other. This is why I love volunteering. I love teaching here, because it's just a big community of it's like a big family. Yesterday, after my last class, I forgot my laptop in the fellowship hall, and I totally went home without it. And I got home, and I was like, oh, I was supposed to teach a class. I didn't have my computer. But at least, if I left it somewhere, I left it at CMS, and I know it's going to be safe there. And sure enough, it was, right? Thank you, Lord. Okay, perfect. You can go ahead and start whenever you're ready.
I searched the world, but it couldn't fill me. Man's empty praise and treasures that fade are never enough. Then you came along. nothing, and like I just.
You struggle with those?
Yeah.
Okay. Beautiful. Round of applause, everybody. So, what a warm, rich voice, right? Beautiful warmth. Definitely, I can sense you're very comfortable with your voice in that range. So she's definitely like, you know, she's imbuing a lot of confidence in her voice. I'm also hearing there is strength, and I don't know if it's just me. I'm also hearing a little bit of softness. There's clarity, but there's also like a layer of softness on top of it. Y'all hear that? Which, to my ear, to my functional ear, means that there is a little bit of misalignment with the vocal folds, right? You hear how that's clear, but yeah, there's like something, there's like a texture to it. You hear the difference between those two? It's more than volume. It's cut. Okay? There's like a term called chiaroscuro. Who's heard of that term before? This is an old Italian school of singing term, okay? There's light and dark, there's brilliance, and there's also depth and richness, right? She's got a lot of scuro, she's got a lot of warmth, a lot of shadow, a lot of depth, but the chiaro is missing. The cut is missing a little bit. Let's see if we can give you a little more cut, because that missing cut, that missing edge, is probably why it's hard for her to float up to the top, right? So can you sing the first line? Let's do it on an E. Can you substitute the lyrics with an E? Just one straight legato E. And let's just do the first line. Yeah? Just the first line. Yeah? So now even the E is E. E. I'm going to have you not smile for a second. I love the smile though, but E. Stop smiling. E. Now there's more. Do you hear that change? Let's do it again from E. Can you copy that? That's where she was before. E. That's where she is now, right? Can you do the lyrics and see if you can get that same feel?
Okay. I can try.
Okay.
I search the world.
Right? I search the world. Keep going.
But it couldn't fill me.
But it.
But it couldn't fill me.
Good. Keep going.
Man's empty praise and treasures that fade are never enough.
How does that feel? Does that feel different at all to you?
Yeah, I
How-
don't feel like I'm straining as much.
Not crazy? How would you describe the change in sound? More confidence. It's got more. It's clearer. Less tension. Less Texan.
Less Texan.
Less Texan.
Never been to Texas, but it's just in me.
She was widening the vowels the first time. You heard that. And the second time she sounded a little like the vowels were a little bit more neutral. Did anybody else hear that? She was maybe unconsciously using the vowels, the widening of the vowels, to try and reach for that top note. Whereas this, she didn't feel like she had to. What did you notice with that little run?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I just.
Can I tell you the truth? I didn't even realize she had a run the first time. It did come out naturally. Did anybody else pick up that she sang a run the first time? Because I totally missed it.
I don't think I did.
And then the second time, was it just me, or did it sound way clearer and cleaner the second time? Right? Okay, let's try it again. Actually, let's keep going.
Okay.
What's the next line?
Never enough. You came along. Okay.
You.
You came along.
Hold on. You.
You.
Speak it on the pitch. You.
You.
I love that word.
You came along.
That's great. Keep going. Yes, keep it there.
And
And you put me back together.
And you put, can you take out the slide on that put for a second? And you put.
Put me back together. Yeah, it's my.
That's okay. Try it again.
And you put me back together.
Yeah, can you go together?
Together.
Mm-hmm.
And you put me back together.
Yeah, put me back together. Punch up the consonant on together.
Okay. And you put me back together.
Better. Can you say together?
Together.
There we go. Together.
Together.
There we go. Punch up the consonants, and it helped her get a little bit more clarity. So, and you put me back together. Let's just play with a rhythm. We're going to take liberties. And you put me back together.
And you put me back together.
Better. So that's another way where stylistically, if there's like a functional whole, and if the style allows for it, you can sometimes make these modifications that make that help the function. Because earlier the melody was, you put me back together, right? There's a little bit of length on that second syllable, but she was having a hard time holding on to the voice there. So we made it a little shorter. And you put me back together. Let's all sing that together. The first one, you put me back together. Now, second one, let's shorten the gither. Ready? And you put me back together. Notice the difference in how that feels. Now, let's do that again. Punch up the G, everyone. Put me back to, well, we're going to do the syncopated, the shortened version. Punch up the G. Ready? And you put me back together. Now there's even more of an emphasis on the syllable, but it also lends more clarity to the voice, right? Can we try the next? Because I know it goes up a little bit, right? And then I'm going to let you go. One more time. What's after that? Yeah.
Every desire is now satisfied here in your love.
Is it every desire? That's the lyric?
Yeah.
If, can you go if?
Every desire.
Let me hear you.
Every desire.
Yeah, can you go bi, 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 bi?
Bi, 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 bi.
Can you give it a bit of a bi, 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 bi?
Bi, 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 bi.
There it is. Now, every desire.
Every desire.
Better. Can you go,
Maybe.
That's it.
Okay.
E.
E.
Every desire.
Every desire.
Better. And then when you land back down, every desire.
Every desire.
There we go. Now, can you emphasize that S? So like you're saying a Z.
Okay.
Every desire. And really push your voice through that Z. Desire.
Okay. Every desire.
Hey! Yes! Let's do it again. Ready? And.
Every desire is now satisfied here in your love.
And she's back in chess. Yes! How did that feel?
Good, yeah.
Yes.
Felt comfortable through the whole thing.
It felt comfortable through the
Yeah.
whole thing. So going up was a lot easier. And she's able to carry out the style that she wanted to carry without as much anxiety,
Yeah.
right? Because you were worried about it before.
Mm-hmm.
But if you can feel like, oh, my voice is going to pull through to the top, then she was able to clearly do the runs. She was able to land back down, zar, and kind of really nail that crescendo a little bit more in the next part of the song. So that was awesome. Good job.
Thank you.
Really good. Thank you so much for playing. So what's the takeaway here? What's the takeaway? Style and function are two sides of the same coin. Can't do one without the other, right? Well, you can, but it would be so much more effective and easy and safe for your voice to tackle one together with the other, right? And at the same time, vocal technique is not something that we work on at the expense of style. Vocal technique is something that we work on in order to facilitate style. Vocal technique serves the stylistic purposes of art, right? Not the other way around. We don't throw away expression because we want to turn into robots, right? We work on techniques so that we can do all of the things that we want to do emotionally and artistically and stylistically and musically without limitation and without fear, right? And you can sing and worship and minister in your music without worrying, can my voice pull this off? Does that make sense? And your voice also does not turn into a stumbling block to the people's praise because they're not hearing somebody who's conveying the wrong message for the song that they're trying to sing. They're trying to sing a rallying call, but they sound like they're asking a question. Or they're trying to sing a contemplative song, but they sound mad. You have choices, right? Does anybody have any questions about any of this before we wrap up? No? Okay. Well, thank you all so much for being here. I loved having you. I loved hearing your voices, and I hope that this was helpful for you. God bless you all. This is going to be my last class, so I'm going to be off for the rest of the weekend, but enjoy the rest of the summit and keep in touch. Find me on Instagram. Send me a DM if you have any questions, okay? Have a great lunch, everybody.